Sirens at the palace. What just happened? Sirens ring out across Buckingham Palace tonight. Something huge has just gone down. Breaking developments are shaking Britain to its core. Just minutes ago, the quiet tension outside the palace turned into chaos. Tens of thousands have gathered, filling the streets in what's being called the largest wave of public anger London has witnessed since the height of the Starmer scandal. This isn't politics anymore. This is a full-scale national emergency playing out live in the capital. And all signs point back to one man, Prince William. Inside Whitehall, top officials and security agencies aren't asking why this is happening. They're asking if he meant for it to happen. The spark that lit this public eruption traces directly back to William's defiant statement 2 days ago, the one where he revealed the secret Downing Street meeting and vowed to defend his father, King Charles. Royal supporters praised his words as a powerful stand for the crown. But the Prime Minister's office quickly warned that William was crossing a dangerous line, blurring the boundary between royal neutrality and political warfare. Now, those warnings appear chillingly accurate. Eyewitnesses describe scenes of pandemonium near the palace gates. What began as a calm vigil has rapidly transformed into a massive, organized protest movement. Crowds wave banners reading, "Hands off our king," and "William speaks for Britain." Security barriers have been breached, and officers are struggling to hold the line. Sources inside the Metropolitan Police call the situation volatile and unpredictable. Social media campaigns appear to be fueling the movement, and some insiders suggest these efforts might even have quiet backing from individuals close to Kensington Palace. William's weaponized silence explained. Inside Westminster, the rumor spreading like wildfire is that Prince William is intentionally channeling public support to force a political crisis, one so deep it could topple the government. If true, this would be the most direct act of royal intervention in British politics in over a century. A senior government insider told reporters this morning, "The prince knows exactly what he's doing. He didn't just defend the king, he struck the match." They claimed that the moment William cleared his public schedule and went silent, the protests began to grow. His quiet withdrawal is seen as a deliberate move, showing Prime Minister Starmer that power doesn't just live inside Parliament. It lives in the streets. Inside Number 10, panic, splits, and the briefing war. Meanwhile, Downing Street is in meltdown. Prime Minister Starmer has been locked in emergency meetings for hours. Leaked memos reveal open arguments among advisers over how to handle the crisis. One aide wrote, "If we crack down, William becomes a martyr. If we stay silent, we hand the streets to the palace." It's an impossible situation, a direct challenge to government authority, not from opposition benches, but from the monarchy itself. For the first time in decades, the crown finds itself pulled into the center of a revolutionary public storm. Now the fate of Starmer's government, and possibly the British Constitution, could rest on a single decision. Will Prince William speak again, or will he continue to let the crowds outside his father's palace speak for him? The tension is suffocating. The world is watching. This isn't politics anymore. It's constitutional brinkmanship at its most dangerous. A dangerous game of high-stakes power. The fury outside Buckingham Palace grows louder with each passing hour, while inside Kensington, silence reigns. But that silence, insiders say, isn't peace, it's strategy. Sources close to the royal household confirm that Prince William has cleared his schedule not for rest, but for intense private consultations with senior advisers and constitutional lawyers. This small, secretive group is said to be planning for every possible scenario, from a vote of no confidence in Starmer's government to a full dissolution of Parliament. Scenarios that would have been unthinkable only days ago are now on the table. Downing Street insiders accuse the prince of deliberate provocation. One furious source said, "He knows exactly what he's doing. Every image of those crowds is strengthening his hand. Every minute he stays silent, the movement grows." They call it a weaponization of public emotion. William, they say, is daring the government to react, to make a move that could be interpreted as an attack on the monarchy itself. And if that happens, Britain could find itself facing a constitutional crisis unlike anything seen in modern history. Streets versus state. London has become the stage for a battle unlike anything seen in modern Britain. Tonight, crowds are flooding the streets, their chants echoing through the city, a clash of loyalty and power now unfolding in real time. Outside Buckingham Palace, the air feels electric, heavy with defiance and emotion. What began as scattered frustration has evolved into a nationwide storm of resistance. It all traces back to one man, Prince William. 2 days ago, his bold declaration, the one defending King Charles and exposing the secret Downing Street meeting, sparked a reaction no one saw coming. What was once seen as a son's loyalty to his father has now become a symbol of defiance against the government itself. Inside Whitehall, panic ripples through the corridors of power. Officials are no longer asking why this is happening, but whether the prince intended for it to happen. His words, hailed by royalists as the crown's call to strength, have ignited a movement that now challenges the very authority of Parliament. Tonight, thousands gather under banners reading, "Hands off our king," and "William speaks for Britain." Police lines tremble under the weight of anger and loyalty merging into one. What began as a peaceful vigil has transformed into a rebellion. And as sirens scream across the city, one truth becomes impossible to ignore: Britain has entered uncharted territory. William's weaponized silence explained. Rumors now sweep through Westminster, whispers that Prince William's silence isn't uncertainty, but strategy. Since withdrawing from public appearances, he's allowed the storm to grow unchecked, each hour of silence feeding public imagination and fury. Insiders suggest this may not be coincidence, but calculation. One government insider told reporters this morning, "The prince knows exactly what he's doing. He didn't just defend his father, he struck the match." They believe his silence has become his loudest statement. Every crowd outside the palace, every trending hashtag, every chant of support, they all speak for him. If true, this marks the boldest royal involvement in politics in over a century. William's quiet defiance has positioned him as both protector of the monarchy and challenger of political power. His strategy seems simple yet dangerous: prove that the heart of Britain beats louder than the voice of Parliament. Meanwhile, social media becomes his invisible army. Campaigns, videos, and hashtags fuel a movement that even senior officials now call unstoppable. Some even suspect quiet assistance from individuals linked to Kensington Palace, though no one dares say it publicly. To the public, William's silence feels like leadership. To the government, it feels like a threat. Inside Number 10, panic, splits, and the briefing war. At Downing Street, the mood is nothing short of chaos. Prime Minister Starmer is locked in back-to-back crisis meetings as leaked memos reveal bitter infighting among his top advisers. One aide warned in writing, "If we clamp down, William becomes a martyr. If we do nothing, we lose the streets." The government is paralyzed, caught between enforcing control and avoiding a constitutional explosion. For the first time in generations, the monarchy stands at the center of Britain's most dangerous political storm. Behind closed doors, whispers of resignations, late-night briefings, and political betrayal grow louder. Starmer's allies are split. Some demand decisive police intervention, others urge negotiation. But each minute of indecision only strengthens the crowds outside Buckingham. What was once political tension has now become something far more volatile: a direct challenge to government authority. This isn't opposition politics anymore. It's the people versus power. The fate of Starmer's government, and possibly the future of the monarchy, now hinges on one question: will Prince William speak again, or will his silence continue to shake the nation? The world watches, waiting for the next move in a battle that has already crossed every line once thought untouchable. Dangerous game of high-stakes power. As the night deepens, the fury outside Buckingham Palace only intensifies. The crowds are no longer restless, they're resolute. Their chants grow louder with every passing minute, echoing through London's historic heart. Inside the palace walls, however, silence reigns. But that silence, insiders say, isn't calm, it's calculation. Sources close to the royal household confirm that Prince William has withdrawn from all public duties, not for retreat, but for strategy. Behind closed doors, he's meeting with senior advisors and constitutional lawyers, preparing for scenarios once unthinkable: a vote of no confidence in Starmer's government, or even a full dissolution of Parliament itself. Inside Number 10, the mood is reaching breaking point. Senior officials accuse the prince of deliberate provocation, of turning national emotion into political leverage. One furious source reportedly told the press, "He knows exactly what he's doing." Every image of those crowds strengthens his position. Every hour he stays silent, his influence grows. They call it the weaponization of public emotion. And as that emotion spills over from the digital world to the real one, The government's grip on authority seems to weaken by the hour. The prince's silence has become a statement, his restraint a rallying cry. But the stakes couldn't be higher. William's supporters see him as defending Britain's soul, a symbol of courage in the face of government overreach. His critics, however, warn that this is the most dangerous moment for the monarchy in modern times. They fear that by blurring the lines between crown and government, the prince could ignite a constitutional crisis from which neither side emerges unscathed. Yet as the night stretches on, one fact becomes impossible to ignore. This is no longer a battle of politics, but of principles. The streets roar with loyalty and anger, while the palace remains a fortress of silence, a silence that now carries the weight of a nation's future. Britain stands on the edge of history. One statement from Prince William could calm the storm, or set the kingdom ablaze.